Hello there guys, and welcome to the 8-man hard mode Gharj boss fight guide. This is the second fight in the Eternity Vault operation and another fairly straightforward encounter. You'll want to bring a standard composition of 2 tanks, 4 DPS, and 2 healers. This fight however can be solo tank, so if you need the extra DPS, you can have one of your tanks change specs or just bring a DPS if they're capable. So let's break down the DPS requirements for the fight. Gharj has a total health of 5,718,353 HP and an enraged time of 6 minutes and 20 seconds. During this fight, you'll encounter adds that have an individual health of 18,440 HP. During this fight, you'll deal with 3 waves of adds, each containing 8 of these adds. This adds an additional 147,520 HP per wave for a total add health contribution of 442,560 HP. This brings the total fight health up to 6,160,913 HP. So by dividing this figure by our enraged time, we find a total DPS of 16,213. Assuming your tanks are capable of pulling at least 1,500 DPS each, we can reduce this figure by 3,000 DPS to more accurately determine the individual responsibility per DPS. By making this adjustment, we reach a new total DPS of 13,213. Dividing this number by the number of DPS in your group, for this example I'll use a 4 DPS composition, this gives an individual DPS responsibility of 3,303 DPS per DPS player. Multiplying this number by our enraged time gives an individual damage responsibility per DPS of 1,255,228 HP. So mechanics for this fight are pretty straightforward. There are, however, 4 major mechanics to be aware of, so let's go over those now. The first mechanic you'll deal with is Frenzy. Frenzy has 2 different components to it. First, it serves as the beginning of the transition phase. So when Frenzy starts, the platform under the boss will become unstable. As this happens, another platform will appear nearby, which you'll need to move your entire group to. Rock formations will drop from the ceiling of the cave and create a safe path for you to make this transition. The second component is raid-wide AoE damage. Each successive jump and smash after Frenzy is started will cause you to take increased damage as long as you're on the platform where Frenzy was initiated. Pulverizing Slam is the next mechanic you'll deal with. This is a simple knockback by the boss which will throw the entire group back by approximately 20 meters. To ensure you do not get knocked off the platform, I highly suggest you stack your group close to the boss. Pounce is an easy to miss mechanic. This is a raid-wide AoE damage attack that will hit all members of the raid. This will happen periodically between frenzies and looks just like the animation for Frenzy, so be careful not to confuse the 2 mechanics and think you're pushing into the transition phase early. The last mechanic to be aware of is Rending Swipe. This is the boss's frontal cleave attack, so this means do not stand in front of the boss if you're a DPS or healer. And if you're a tank, be sure to face the boss away from the group so you don't hit the raid with cleave damage. So the strategy for this fight is really straightforward. You'll want to initiate the fight and have your tank immediately turn the boss away from the group and have the DPS and healers stack up behind the boss. I suggest having your tank stand on the outer edge of the platform and grouping your DPS and heals around the interior. Gharj will start Frenzy at 94% HP, which will force you to swap platforms. Frenzy will then happen on a set percentage, following this at 69%, 49%, 29%, and 9%. So as you approach these percentages, know that you'll be coming close to a transition phase. The boss will not initiate Frenzy, however, until he finishes all other ongoing mechanics. Because the boss initially pushes at 94%, I highly suggest saving raid buffs until after you make the first transition. That way you'll benefit from their full uptime. Once you make the transition, have your tanks set up where they'll hold the boss. That way there's less adjustments to be made once he jumps over to the new platform. Once the boss is in position, stack up behind the boss to avoid pulverizing slam, knocking you off the platform. That's really it. You'll rinse and repeat this process until the boss is dead. The ads mentioned earlier will jump into the fight on the last 3 frenzies, so 49%, 29%, and 9% HP. My suggestion is keep to the same strategy and move over to the new platform as soon as frenzy happens. Once you get there, the ads will follow over, and you can just AoE them down while you're waiting for the boss to jump over. If you try and DPS them down as they come out, you'll be taking the increased damage over time from the frenzy slams, which can potentially kill members of your group if they're not paying attention to their health or the healers aren't ready for it. So that's the fight, guys. Really simple fight. Just transition on frenzy as soon as possible. Stay somewhat stacked up behind the boss to avoid being knocked off the platform. Keep in mind boss positioning as it relates to the frontal cleave, and kill ads on the new platform after they spawn and you transition. So if this video helped you, please drop us a like and subscribe. It definitely helps us out and keeps us motivated. So until next time, take care and enjoy our Gharj kill video.
Gharj, whom the alchemists of a younger age sought to emulate, but all would fail. Look upon Gharj and die.